and welcome back to the TVcast, the spin-off of the spoiler cast where we talk about TV shows, and we don't care about spoiling them. My name is Tobias, and with me as always is my sister and trusted co-host Rebecca.
Hello.
Hello. And it's been a while since we did the TVcast, not just because we had a New
Winter
Year's
break.
Yeah. But we haven't recorded one since the last episode of
House of Dragon, right?
Yeah. It's been a while.
Well, there's a reason for that, though. We haven't found a TV show that we find interesting enough.
Yeah, that's true. And also, like we said, like this is our most sporadic show. Like this is There's no, like, even if in the future we like get a lot of listeners to this, we're never gonna have sponsors in this because there's no consistency to it at all.
No, because it's difficult. You need to have a show to talk about, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And we're not those kind of people who watch like 15 shows every week.
Just because. No, we have to be interested to actually want to watch something.
Exactly.
And here we go. We do have a show we're interested in. Interested in?
Well, I gotta say, yeah, because we were talking about, you guessed it, The Last of Us.
Yes.
The long-awaited, I suppose, TV adaptation of the video game The Last of Us.
Yes.
I gotta say, though,
okay,
if it wasn't for this podcast, I probably wouldn't have watched it.
Really?
I was not interested at all. And do you want to know why?
Yeah.
Because The Last of Us, the first one, is one of the best games I've ever played. It's one of the greatest games I've ever played. It's one of the best stories ever told. Or I should say, one of the most well-told stories of all time. The story in itself is not that shit, but it's so well-told, with the characters and the themes and everything.
Mm-hmm. And
I just didn't see a point of remaking that as a TV show. It was perfect. Why change it?
Yeah, no. I get what you mean, and I do agree, but at the same time, being able to watch the story and the way they tell the story without having to play it is kind of fun. It's kind of nice, because I can't play The Last of Us without like having to turn it off after every encounter with what's it called? Clickers?
Clickers, yeah.
Because I get freaked out.
Infected in general, yeah. Oh, okay.
So, being able to, like, sit back and relax and watch it is a whole nother thing, and it's so nice.
I guess that would be a reason. For me, it wasn't that scary, so. Yeah, but, and that was my main concern before watching it. I watched it yesterday. You watched it today?
No, I watched it yesterday, just late yesterday.
Oh, okay. That was my concern, like, how closely would they stick to the game? Because when they all, and this is true for all video game adaptations, like you got to change some things, because telling a story in a video game is one thing, telling a story in a TV show or a movie is a completely different thing. And there's, some stories can't be told in a video game, and most video game stories doesn't really translate over to a movie or TV series.
No.
This one, however, is so cinematic that there would have to be very little changes to it in order for it to translate.
Yes.
And I'm gonna ask you first, a kind of two-pronged question. First of all, what did you think of it? And what did you think of the changes? Or, like, did you think the changes were too much or too little or whatever, Discuss the changes. First of all, did you like it?
I did like it. I did like the first episode. There's one problem, and it's too long. It's way too long. You can't have 1:20 be the first episode for me. You shouldn't have any episode be 1:20. I hate that. We've talked about that before. I did see a perfect point of cutting it off that would have made it about 30 minutes shorter.
Yeah.
But I can sort of also understand why they would put all of this in.
It is kind of a classic thing, though. Yeah. Like, at least if you look at TV shows in the last 20 years, they usually had a 2-episode pilot.
Yes.
Like Lost was like that.
It's to really get you interested.
Yeah, like you show 2 episodes the first night, and then it's weekly. And
yeah,
this is basically that. It's 2 episodes, but it's cut together in one long episode.
Yeah, it's fine, but I would still have preferred shorter episodes, because I'm assuming the next one is just like with House of Dragon and any other modern TV show being released today. The episodes are going to be around 50 minutes long. That's
what I saw on IMDb. It looked like at least the next episode is 50, and it's going to be around there. Yeah.
Yeah, that we've talked about it before. Like I said, I don't like it. I prefer like the 45-minute tops. That's with commercials almost for TV, you know.
Well, then you're talking.
No, that's like 30 minutes.
Yeah, then you're in sitcom territory.
Yeah, I guess. But 45 is a good one.
An hour with exactly 45 to 50 without commercials. Yeah, exactly.
So if they stick to that in the rest of the episodes, fine.
I think they're gonna, and then they're probably gonna do some like towards the end. It's probably gonna be longer or whatever,
like they did with House of Dragon.
Yeah, exactly.
But, so yes, I liked it. I very much liked it. I mean, even they did manage to capture that very, very heartbreaking emotion in the beginning.
Yeah, well, this is a spin-off of the spoiler cast, and we are essentially talking about a 10-year-old story.
Oh, yes.
I mean, this is technically a new show, but
the story has been out there.
I think most people who listen to this have played the game, or at least seen the game, you know.
If not, the first 30 minutes, or the big spoiler for me is the first 30 minutes of the episode, and that's about it. The rest of it, I don't know if I can spoil anything, really.
Not really. There's one big reveal, of course, towards the end of the episode.
Well, yeah, we can avoid that one. That's not too hard.
Yeah.
But, you know what I mean when I say the first 30 minutes.
I'm just gonna come on and say it, because this is the TV cast, so we're gonna do maybe a little shorter episode. So we can't say like, oh, the first 30 minutes is gonna be spoiler free, because we might be done in 30 minutes.
No. But I mean, the first 30 minutes of the episode of The Last of Us.
But like we do when we talk about movies. But I'm gonna say this. From here on out, spoilers. Spoilers. If you haven't played the game, if you haven't watched the episode, first of all, why are you listening to this?
Pause the episode, go watch the Last of Us.
Yeah,
either a playthrough or the actual TV show now. and come back.
And then come back. Because from here on out, 3, 2, 1, spoilers.
Yes. So when his daughter dies, holy shit, I did cry. Much like I did when I played the video game the first and the second time. I don't think I've ever seen that, even in a playthrough, without almost crying.
No, it always hits me because it's so well done. Yeah.
And I that gave me hope that the rest of the show will be as well made and as true to the original as possible. And so far, I don't remember everything about the details of the video game, obviously. I remember big things and certain story beats. But so far, I'm optimistic. It looked good. The production is fantastic. As always with HBO.
Yeah.
Like, have they ever failed?
No, yeah, that's true. You can definitely tell this is produced by HBO and not just something they're showing on HBO Max. No, this is made, especially the intro as well.
Yeah.
It's become their style, you know. They're very stylized intros.
Even like when they step out and you see the entire city, I felt like that was basically stolen from the video game. That's what we see.
Yeah, because it's the first big thing you see is that fallen over skyscraper.
Right? Yeah.
Leaning against the other skyscraper. The only thing I didn't like about that, the final shot, is that it's raining and there's a thunderstorm, which is like in the game.
Yeah.
But when they pan up, you see that stuff. There's like a clicker on one of the roofs going wah in the lightning.
I didn't realize that.
Oh, yeah. I was like, what is this? What is that? Batman clicker? Like, what is he standing up there? It was silly.
Maybe it's a bit of
First of all, since we haven't been introduced to the we've barely even seen the Infected yet. So
yeah, but like, maybe it's a bit of an Easter egg or something for the video game players.
I thought it was silly, but that's nitpick.
Yeah, I didn't even notice it. So
now I'm going to tell you what I thought.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I liked it.
Good.
But there's not really. Had I not played the video game, I would have said this is a great show. I am eagerly anticipating the next episode. Good performances, good story. You know, it's violent, it's brutal, it's a little bit scary. I like it. However, since I have played the video games, I've finished it at least 2 times. And I've played the opening many times and seen the opening many times. I could not quite divorce myself from how, the first hour of the video game. It was just like, that's not how it was in the video game. My autistic brain started boiling. It was like, they changed it. They didn't say the thing. Basically, because like I said, you didn't really need to change anything from the video game. Yeah, like cinematography, dialogue. Fucking story beats. You could have kept everything and it would have been fine.
Sure. I agree. I don't really see the point in rewriting too much, because like you said in the beginning, this is a very well told story. Yeah. All you have to do is replace the CGI and the voice actors for real actors.
Yeah, and
you know, build a set.
And remove the gameplay bits. Like shorten them down so you don't have like an hour of people just walking around solving puzzles and fighting. Yeah, obviously. but there's not much. There is story in this one, even in those bits, but not as much. Yeah. Yeah, and then of course you have some scenes. So like what I'm saying is overall I liked it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But on a nitpicky level, it was annoying. Because there were even things that felt like they had to compromise in this TV version. Like the scene when they get in the car. When Tommy pulls up in the car. Yes. First of all, we'll get to that. I'll stick to what I'm talking about. So they get in the car, and since it's a video game, in the video game, it's of course one continuous shot of them going from their house out to the highway, get in the traffic jam by the hospital, and then them driving into the little city where they crash, because they get hit by a truck or whatever. You don't actually see what it is, and everything is from. Oh, what's her name? What's the daughter's name?
Sarah.
Sarah, right? Sarah, baby. Yeah, exactly. It's all because you play her in the opening, like what is it, half an hour,
much like the TV show kind of did.
Yes, exactly. Yes, but when you get in the backseat of the truck, she's basically your camera. You can turn her 360 degrees and watch everything that's going on around them. And like in the TV show, you see the burning house, the people stuck by the side of the road, and that they don't pick up, and then. The traffic jam. Yeah. Not by the hospital this time, but, just the traffic jam, whatever. Yeah. But it's all in one continuous shot. And it's really cool to see that, to see how the world opens up. Yes. Which gives you, but that's like, I guess that's like a video game trick, just to show like how show the scope of the story, or the scope of the game. Yeah. That they built all this, You don't really need that in a TV show, I suppose, but it would have been a very impressive one shot.
I know what you mean. I do. It would have been very impressive.
Yes, like things like that. And things like. Well, if I'm gonna, because I was gonna nitpick some more, like the whole introducing of the neighbors. That Sarah hangs out with the old lady who's a neighbor. Yes. And things like that. I was like, what purpose does this serve? I can't understand later. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But it's like, get to the point, because the video game starts with her waiting for Joel, her dad, to come home to give him the birthday present. Right. That's where it starts. There's not the whole, grumpy morning, Tommy is there, and blah, blah, blah. Like, there's a lot of, there's a lot of, like, just because you already know the story, the whole setup of all the characters felt so obvious. Like, I know all this. Like,
Well, for someone who doesn't know it, though, I think it works.
But the thing is, none of those characters feel like two-dimensional in the video game. They all feel fleshed out. Even Tommy, even though he doesn't show up until like the last third of the video game, really, except for that opening. You do understand them as characters without having that long, hey, we're eating breakfast and this is the characters, you know?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean, but...
And anyway, there was, however, I might be wrong about this, actually, because I was going to say, they did fundamentally misunderstand one of the, like, bigger themes or like thematic details of the video game, and that's even Neil Druckmann is producer in this. I think he was even involved in writing it.
Yes.
But because the video game starts on the night of Joel's birthday, he comes home late from work. Him and Tommy is struggling with their landscaping or whatever business
construction thingy.
Yeah. And Sarah's sitting in the couch. She gives him a birthday present which is a watch. And he's like, "Oh, how did you afford this?" And she's like, "I sell drugs. I sell hardcore drugs." Which I was happy they still had that line in there.
Yeah.
And they said it almost exactly like that. And then he jokingly says like, "Oh, but I'm sorry, I think the watch is broken." She's like, "What? And then, he was just joking. Asshole," whatever she says. Just to say asshole. And then, when we get to the end of the opening segment where they get shot, and she gets shot point blank in the stomach and dies.
Yeah.
They tumble down a hill when they get shot by the soldier.
Yeah.
His watch breaks, and the very next shot we see 20 years later is him sleeping on the couch, and you see the broken watch.
Yeah.
So it was the last gift he basically got from his daughter. The last memory he has of his daughter is literally like time stopped for him there, because that was his whole world being ruined, like literally and figuratively.
Yes.
And we later when Ellie sees Clunk, she says, your watch is broken, by the way." Like, just to emphasize it so we get it. And then later we kind of get him explaining that to her. Here, he already has the watch, and instead of her buying it for him, she goes to get it fixed for him.
Yes.
It fills the same purpose, because it breaks then again, and it's broken like it is in the video game.
That bit works.
But why change the detail of her fixing it instead of buying it?
Because they wanted to add that little bit of getting hurried out of the store.
Yeah, but she could have just been there to pick out the watch.
No, well, it wouldn't have had the same kind of urgency of her wanting to make sure she got the watch with her, because she paid for that's hers already. She didn't pay for the fixing here, by the way.
Well,
the woman just...
She does.
Like either you leave now or... Well, you have to leave now. And he's like, "But I'm done, so just give her the watch," and they leave. She doesn't pay for it.
She pays for it. She does pay for it.
She pays before then.
Yes.
I feel, because it's more of an urgency. That's when you have something being fixed that's yours, and you have to make sure you get it, even though you leave. If you're just buying a new watch, then who cares? It's not sentimental in any way.
Of course it is.
Not until he has it.
Because he... Yeah, but that's the point. What I mean.
It's not sentimental until he has it, so she doesn't care in the store unless it is already his.
But you could just have her, like, stand at the counter, looking at the watches, and then he comes out of the back room and like, "Okay, which one do you want?" She's like, "That one." He's like, "Are you sure?" So it's very expensive, and it's a man's watch. He's like, "It's a gift, for my daddy."
But
I've been saving up for it. I have the money. And he's like, "All right, I'll
bring it up.
I'll bring it up for you." Yeah, blah 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 blah. And then she can just mention it, it's his birthday, blah, blah, blah. He's like, "Oh, that's very nice." And then, "What are you doing in here? We gotta close the store." She comes out of the back room as well. It's you don't have to have like that's just logistics. Like the theme is lost by the fact that she's fixing a broken watch that he already owns.
I don't think it is though, because it's still it's not lost. The
No,
part
it's not.
where
It's not
lost though is what you mentioned. That is the second part of that. The way they move the video game cuts from his broken watch on the ground there in the down the hill when he's fallen, to 20 years later when he's sleeping, or I think he was sitting down in the TV show now, but like just cutting it straight to the watch. I don't think they did that, did they?
I don't think they specifically do that in the video game hell either, if I remember it correctly. But it's. You see the watch early on.
Yeah. We do get to see the watch, though, and we do get Ellie saying, your watch broken.
Yes, we get all that. So that's fine. I just don't understand why they changed it from buying a new watch to fixing an old watch. Why? I want to know what the reason is for changing that.
I think it adds a sentimental value to it.
But
a more sentimental value.
But it gets sentimental value the second she gifts it to him.
Perhaps it's a watch he's had a long time, and we'll get to know that it's a detail that, like, he got it from her mother as well, or something. Like, maybe they'll add to it. I don't know.
But that's not necessary, because the point of the watch is that it stopped the second she died. That's the whole point of the watch.
I know, and it did.
Yeah. But
maybe, I don't know. I don't mind it, so I don't care.
Okay,
to be honest.
I hated it. That was so annoying to me because it's such a
it is a strange detail to change for no apparent reason.
It's so well integrated into the story of the video game. Like, to have that, like, the whole thing with, like, time stopping because his world was ruined in that moment, and he carries it around to remember that, basically.
That's not ruined, though. They still have that. The only thing they changed is her getting it fixed instead of buying a new one. That's the only thing they changed.
Yeah, but what's the point of her fixing it?
I don't know.
Exactly.
There's no point in changing that. I agree.
No, exactly.
But I don't
so why change it?
I don't mind it because it's such a tiny detail. Her buying it or fixing it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but it takes
either way, she gave it to him,
takes up
and then
so much time,
broke.
though. It's her going into his room, grabbing the watch, stealing the money from him, by the way.
Which she admits to.
Yeah, that's also not part of the video game story. We don't know, but, because that's the first scene in the video game. And then there's this whole thing where she goes to the city, where we see some, cop cars, and then she gets rushed out of the store, whatever. So this whole thing just to show that she's fixing the watch when it could have just been her. But I know I'm fixating on a detail.
Yes,
but it's so dumb. Why change that? It's such a small detail. Why even change it then?
No, I don't know, but I don't care.
It annoyed me. It didn't really affect my, like, score of the show or whatever, or my liking of the show, but it was annoying. At the moment, I was like,
sure.
Why?
I might have found that annoying as well if I remembered that detail from the video game, but I didn't, so...
Okay, whatever.
But in general, you liked it.
Yes, I did.
Would you, like, you said before that you probably wouldn't have watched it unless we were doing an episode on it. Would you have... If you were to watch it just because to see the first episode, do you think you would have continued watching it if it wasn't for us recording this? That was a weird sentence, but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. Like would I be intrigued enough to watch the next episode?
Yes.
Probably not.
Oh.
Because I know the story. Unless they're going to do some big changes, I know what's going to happen. So... I don't know. Why would I watch it? I've already seen the show twice. 3 times.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just gonna, I'm gonna keep watching it either way. I mean, I would have. Yeah. I'm assuming we're gonna.
Yes. this is not bad enough that I don't want to watch it. Oh, this is not.
No.
This is not. Hey, this is not the She-Hulk, which is an unaired pilot we did for this TV show. No, for this podcast. Sorry.
Yes, for the TVcast.
For the TVcast. We actually, our very first episode was on the first episode of She-Hulk, but it's only available on patreon.com/don't make a scene. So if you want to hear us, obviously that's the only show we started watching and never finished, at least here on the TVcast.
I didn't finish in person.
For various reasons. And based on the reputation that show has now, you might want to hear us talk about it. So check us out on patreon.com/don't make a scene. You also get a bunch of other exclusives and stuff. But whatever.
Yes. I have an issue with the casting, though.
Yes,
not that they were
too.
bad.
No,
they both did great performances. I'm talking about God damn it, I can't remember their names.
Ellie and Joel.
Joel and Ellie, yeah. Mm-hmm. However, they don't look right.
I know, and I usually
I was very positively surprised by Bella Ramsey's performance, to be honest, because she did great in Game of Thrones. She's one of the mini lords. She's a lord of one of the houses in the north.
Yeah, okay.
Because her father gets killed in the war, and she takes over. She's badass as fuck. I love her.
That's a later season. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, that is a later season. But she is great in that, and she's still great in, her English, her American English in this case, is fantastic for someone who's very British.
Okay, yeah.
But if I remember correctly,
yes,
when we first saw the video game, didn't Ellie look a lot like someone specific?
She looks a lot like shit. What's his name?
I want to say it's Elliot Page. Formerly
Page, yes.
Ellen Page.
Yes.
But now looking at pictures from the video game, I'm not sure I agree on that either, to be honest.
No, the thing is, if you look, because she's supposed to be 13 in the video game.
Yeah.
And that looks spot on like a 13-year-old Elliot Page.
Yeah, I guess.
Because he was acting at that age, and she...
Right.
He played, fuck, what's his name? The bad guy in Trailer Park Boys.
Oh.
What the
I do
fuck?
not know the name of that character.
Not Randy, the other one, Mr. Leahy. He played Mr. Leahy's daughter, Trina, in that show.
Oh, right.
When she back then was 12, 13.
Yeah.
And it is spot on.
Yeah.
Which made it so weird in the video game, you made it look just like this actor.
Yeah.
But then you got another actor to do the voice. Maybe because
yes.
I've never heard of this, but I'm just thinking of this now. Maybe they wanted to get Elliot Page, but he was already, Oscar winning, maybe even. I don't remember, for Juno. So at that point,
definitely
he
above that.
Yeah, he was like, I want $1 million, and they were like, we can't afford that. That might be the case actually, but they just kept the sign then.
Yeah, that's true. That could be it.
Yeah. And if you look at The Last of Us Part 2, when
that's right.
Ellie is
Part
supposed
2
to be,
is even.
Yeah, she's supposed to be 19 or something.
Something like that. Yeah, it's even
and
more.
You look at teenage Elliot Page. It's even now because he hasn't aged much really.
No. Well, the face structure has changed a little bit since transitioning,
of course.
But yes, it does look a lot like Ellen Page looked back then.
Yeah, exactly.
When we had Ellen Page. No, I'm not trying to be mean. I swear.
No, yeah, and it's very, very rare. This is the first time I've had an elongated conversation about a trans person, and missing the pronouns is fucking hard now.
yeah, we're not being mean. We're just struggling a little bit.
Anyway,
and the same is for Pedro Pascal. He does not look like Joel. There's some likeness enough towards the after the first.
Older. Yeah.
Yes, the grayness works.
Yes,
but
and the beard and the hair, and especially the clothes. Like,
I
think
the clothes and the world design is phenomenal.
Yeah, I think he looks enough like Joel.
I was looking at the trivia. There were some other people that were asked to play or considered, which I think might have been better.
Which ones? I haven't looked that up.
Well, I'm just gonna gonna read the list here now. That this is on IMDb, so we will all take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah, sure.
But Hugh Jackman, Michael Fassbender, John Bernthal, not sure who that is, Gerard Butler, Josh Brolin, John Hamm, David Harbour, no. Sorry, no. Keanu Reeves, no. No. Chris Hemsworth, Harrison Ford, Tom Hardy, and Joel Edgerton. Is that how you say his name?
Edgerton, yeah. Okay, well, Tom Hardy is way too intense. He's the greatest actor of our generation, or one of them.
Yes.
But it wouldn't have worked for this.
No,
I don't think so. No.
Harrison Ford is too old.
Too old, way too old. I mean, he's
Chris
in his
Hemsworth,
70s.
Chris Hemsworth, nah.
No.
Keanu Reeves is not even close.
No, I'm sorry. I love Keanu Reeves, but he cannot. No. I don't think he could do Joel. I don't think he could. No. Which one?
Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman. First of all, too old. Too old.
Yeah, he's too old.
He's like pushing 60. He's too old. This has to be a man in like his mid-40s, basically.
A lot of these actors are actually too old. Josh Brolin's too old.
That's way too old. Yeah.
Gerard Butler's too old by now, isn't he?
That could work, but honestly, I don't think he has the acting chops.
No, not this. It's not the same. It's it's
the feel would be off, and that's something I think Pedro Pascal captured pretty good.
Oh, John Bernthal is him. Yeah, no, no,
I don't think so either. Maybe.
I haven't seen him with that kind of hair and beard, so I don't know.
No, that's true, but I can. Well, I have. I think actually. I think he kind of looked that way in real life for a while with a beard. I think.
I think Joel Edgerton might have worked. Actually.
Yes, I was gonna say of all those, I think Joel Edgerton could. Oof, damn, yeah.
He would have been good, both looks wise and acting.
Yes, because he has that soft. He's very soft spoken, but he can definitely have a hard edge to him.
Yeah, and he's also soft-looking, but still rugged somehow.
Yes.
Which I feel Joel has. He has the soft eyes, the kind eyes, but, looking like a haggard man.
Yeah, but you also fully believe that he could murder a person in cold blood.
Oh, when he wants to.
Which he does. Spoilers for the rest of the show. Especially the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had a bunch of people for Ellie as well, apparently. I mean, consideration, obviously. Yeah. Some of them are just because they're big names. Maisie Williams, Thomas Mackenzie, Elle Fanning, McKenna Grace.
Too young.
Well, she's not that young anymore, but she doesn't fit the role.
No.
Thomas and Mackenzie is she's too petite, I don't know. Well, perhaps we're used to seeing her petite, and I think she's...
Look at her in Leave No Trace, which is basically her and a bearded man running around the forest.
I guess.
She has the same clothing, kind of, rugged appearance.
But that's a few years ago. She looks too mature now, probably.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah,
then we have someone, I don't know who the other people in this list is, but Daphne Keane, Caitlin Dever,
Daphne Keane
Eliza...
is the girl from... Daphne Keane is the girl from Logan, who was in that other HBO show.
Okay. Yeah.
Golden Compass.
Yeah.
And then Caitlin Dever is the girl from Booksmart.
Oh, that's her.
She's been in a bunch of A24 movies. Laggies. She's a friend in Laggies.
Yeah.
Yeah, Laggies, yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Eliza Scanlon?
That I don't know who it is.
No. She's been in other HBO projects, though. And Isabella Vidovich.
I have no idea.
Don't know who that is either. Bailey Madison and Julia Butters.
No, I don't know.
Don't know who they are. Wait, no. Bailey Madison? Is that... Yeah, no, she's been in a lot of things. I don't think she's a great actress, though. She's been in what's the latest thing she's been in? I feel like she's a Disney person. She's in The Good Witch and the Cinderella Story and stuff like that.
Okay, I don't.
No,
I don't know. I don't watch. I don't know. I don't know who that is.
So considering who they considered, I'd go with Bella Ramsey. Actually,
yes, she was a good choice
because her acting is really good,
and she kind of had that. She had that angry quality that
yes,
Ellie has in the beginning before she warms up to Joel.
The very annoyed teenager kind of thing.
Yeah, but, and I'm glad for this, without the fucking... I know he wasn't involved, but some of her dialogue feels very Joss Whedon. All the fucking quips. She doesn't have a lot of it, but sometimes she's like, ugh, she sounds like a Marvel character sometimes.
A little bit,
which is kind of funny because... the girl who does the voice for Ellie in the video game, what's her name? The Last of Us. Do you have it pulled up?
No, I don't. Not the video game.
Here we go. I thought. Oh, here. Ashley Johnson.
Right.
She is like, not like a mainstay when it comes to Joss Whedon movies, but she's like in that camp sort of. And later in her career, in the last 10 years, she's done a lot of nerd shit on YouTube. She's like a main cast basically in Critical Role, if you know. That popularized tabletop role playing games.
Yeah.
You know, made it cool, ruined it for us. Whatever. Sorry. So there was always that, and she has a weird cameo because it was always like someone you recognized, even though you didn't really know from where. But then she had that weird like cameo in Avengers as the waitress who they interview in the end, the news station.
Right, that's her. Yeah,
yeah, that's her. What is she doing here? You know, I don't know. She was in a lot of TV series, and I knew her first and foremost from this weird little horror movie that came out in 2008 called Otis, where she plays like a kidnapped teenage girl. Super weird movie, but kind of good. Anyway. Yeah, so I'm glad they got rid of that part of the character, actually. She's not...
Yes.
Well, it might pop up, but...
It might.
She doesn't seem to be so fucking quippy as she was.
No, instead she just swears a lot, which I also kind of liked. It brought me back to like old HBO when no other streaming would dare have characters swear this much, and she's just completely all the time. Everything she says is fucking motherfucker and asshole.
yeah. So the rest of the casting, just to like quickly go through it. I like it. There's a lot of, like, Tess looks a lot like Tess in the video game as far as I remember her. No,
Tommy's fine.
Not really, because Anna Torv, who plays her here, has a very distinct look.
Oh.
I think, with her eyes and she has kind of her head feels kind of, I don't know if it's just because she's kind of like beaten down in the first episode here, but she looks kind of like if she was hitting the head with an anvil or something. She's like, smushed together a little bit.
I didn't think of that.
Oh,
but
she doesn't look like that at all in the video game.
Oh, that's how I remember her, though. I felt like, I recognize that character. But the best one is, Marlene is actually played by the voice actress.
It is? Oh, whoa! Okay,
yeah,
no, yeah. That only works if they actually look like. But then, yeah, it was like, they should have done that with all of them. Honestly, what's his name?
The voice actor for Joel.
I
keep forgetting his name.
At this point, if he buffed up a little bit and they grayed his hair, he could have done it. I don't know, though, because I've never seen him act with his face. Maybe that would be a problem. But, he did the fucking mocap for the video game, so...
Wait, that's Troy Baker, right?
Yes, Troy Baker, thank you.
Right.
I think he could have done it.
The guy who voiced Tommy is in this, but he's another role for some reason. Because he's older. He looks too old.
I
Jeffrey
saw this.
Pierce.
Yes, I saw the same thing with Ashley Johnson. She's in one episode of the show, but as another character.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So
she's also too old to be Ellie
she's
by
too
now.
old to play Ellie. Yeah, she's like in her. I think she's like closing in on 40. So yeah, that wouldn't work.
No,
but yeah, and I know we've talked about this before, and I always say that like you don't. It's more important to capture the feeling of the character than to capture the look of the character.
Yeah,
like because you can probably find someone who looks exactly like all these characters, but they might suck at acting.
Exactly.
It's better to get a good actor. Like perfect example, the Resident Evil movies. Not all of them, but specifically. What's that one called? The worst one? When they're all stuck inside? The dome thing? The experiment thing? Towards the end of that movie, the fifth one. I don't know
yeah.
Towards the end of that movie, you see they have like a bunch of characters from the video games. They have Barry, the guy from the first game.
Yes.
You have Leon from the second game, and they look exactly like their characters in the video games. But they can't act.
Yeah,
the guy who plays Leon, Johan Erb, he sucks. So, just capturing the look is not that important. But here, they had... I don't know.
You still want some similarity when you have a look to base it on.
Yeah.
I can understand going away from it if you can't find an actress or an actor who looks similar enough or even closely similar that can act, then yeah, I get it. And also for your front people, of course you're gonna want big names and the best actors because they're gonna be the most on screen. Like I don't blame them.
No. But
at the same time it is a bit jarring when you have a certain visual in mind.
Yeah.
And they don't live up to it.
But I think that's also like why I'm reacting to it more here than I usually do. Or first of all, because I'm very invested in the video game. I love that video game.
Oh yes.
So I am biased. Yes, I am. But then also once again because even in the original video game, which is 10 years old this year.
Yes.
The motion capture was so good, and the actors behind the mocap suits were so good in capturing the emotions of the characters. Like, I might as well just watch a long play of the video game instead of watching a TV show.
In a way, yes.
And that's why I'm getting back to my original point. Like, why I don't really have to watch the TV show because it already exists. I've already seen it.
Yes, but that's the common issue that we have with a lot of movies and TV show productions nowadays. There's no original stuff.
No.
I am thrilled that this story gets to come to life properly, so I don't have to try and play through the game again and freak out at every single clicker and whatever the big blowy up guys are called.
Yeah.
Because I fucking love it, but there's this stress moment to playing video games. I've been trying to play Jedi Fallen Order. I rage quit.
But you've already finished that, haven't you?
Yes. But now I want 100% it, and I'm fucking fuming over certain things that I cannot complete because I don't know if there's a glitch or whatever. However, if I'm watching a TV show, I can't feel that way because TV show will do everything for me. I don't have to check maps or percentages or I'm missing one chest or whatever or item.
Sure. Yeah.
There's this relaxation to it.
Yeah, and that's why I like movies better than video games as well. Like,
yeah.
You can't fail at watching them. I mean,
exactly.
You can fall asleep. That's the only way you can get a game over, I suppose. But
sure, but it's also easier to just rewind to this exact point you need, not having to redo that same fucking area 15 times because you keep falling off at the wrong spot.
Yes. That's the problem I'm having right now with this game I'm playing, Callisto Protocol. Like, that would honestly work better as a movie, because all the gameplay feels like padding, and then you get a little, 30-second cutscene, and it's like, oh, cool.
Story!
Oh. And I'm stuck at the at a place where I've done it over like 10 times over, and I'm just like, oh no. Anyway, yeah.
But I am excited for the next episode, and I'm gonna force you to talk about it. I don't know if we're gonna do. We're probably gonna try and do an episode a week this time, right?
I think so. Yeah. Every time we watch one, we're gonna release it.
Because going down the cast list, I'm excited to see more of the characters that I think I remember from the game, but I'm not sure, and I want to see how they live up to it.
Yeah. Oh, one last thing before we I think we wrap it up here, right?
Yes, we need to wrap it up.
The casting of Joel and Tommy and Sarah, I suppose. Did it bother you, or did it matter? Did you notice that the
ethnicities doesn't match up?
Yes, thank you. Yes.
No, it didn't bother me. Yeah, I just figured mom's probably black.
Yeah, it didn't feel like, you know,
it didn't feel weird or like
it didn't feel
virtue
like virtue
signaling.
Yeah, it just felt like, you know, they had Pedro Pascal because they wanted him for some. I know I want him because he's popular.
Yes,
and that's also kind of why I don't like him, because he's in fucking Star Wars.
Yes, that's what I was thinking all the time. I was like, isn't this a Disney dude?
Yeah, this Mando.
Is he allowed to work with HBO?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it didn't really it didn't bother me because it didn't feel forced. It was just a choice forced because they wanted Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
It did kind of bother me though that none of them had, even though it's not very pronounced in the video game, none of them had that Texas accent. When she said, right. I sell drugs, I sell hardcore drugs. It didn't have that drugs. I sell hardcore drugs.
No, that's true.
And I'm just waiting for the greatest. Well, the second greatest line in the video game is when they get to they're like riding through a suburban area, and Ellie goes up to one of the kids' rooms up in the house. It's a girl's room, and she reads from the girl's diary pre-pandemic. You know, reading about like teenage problems teenage girls had before, you know, the world ended.
Yeah.
And Joel bursts in like, oh, you can't, you know, you can't leave us like that, blah blah blah. You have to be careful. And she goes like, oh, you're not I'm not your daughter, and blah blah blah. I know you lost your daughter, that's hard, blah blah blah. And he just goes super cold. I don't know if you remember this scene, but
I remember the room and her reading the diary, but I don't know if I remember him bursting in.
Because he's like kind of angry, like, oh, that she not ran away, but, you know, didn't stick with the group.
He lost track of her and he got scared, obviously.
And she's like, I know you lost your daughter, but like I'm not her. He just completely freezes up and goes like dark, and he says like, Ellie, you are treading on some mighty thin ice right now. And it's just like, I'm just getting chills thinking of it.
I do not remember that line.
And oh my god, it's so good.
I might have to look it up.
Yeah. And no one outside of Texas would say mighty thin ice. They would say very thin ice.
Probably, yes.
Once again, I know it's a nitpick. It shouldn't matter that one line is going to be changed, but he's not going to say mighty thin ice. He's going to say very, if they even have that, which, if they don't.
We'll see about that. We'll see about that.
That was also another thing. They were very good of implementing a lot of like not fan service, but like the important beats of the dialogue and the story.
Yes.
The only thing that missed was when the soldier is shooting him. He's at one point in the video game he says, "Listen, buddy, we just been through hell."
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Once again, kind of a Texas thing to say. Listen, buddy, we just been through hell.
Question.
You didn't say it here. It's like,
Is because I don't remember any of the city names. Like, is this the video game is also in Boston? Towards the end, when he 20 years later, is he still in Boston, or is that something they just changed to get rid of the Texas accents?
I know that Boston is part of the video game, but I honestly don't know where after the Texas part where it takes place, like where you start out. I know you get to
Boston is something, right?
Right, yeah.
It doesn't matter. I was just curious because I was like, maybe they changed the cities just to get rid of the Texas accent. I don't know.
I know they go towards the west coast. That's the whole point of getting Ellie to the Fireflies.
Right. Well, I guess we'll see.
Yeah. Let me just look it up. Oh, they're in Massachusetts. That's when they start. Okay. Right. Massachusetts State House is where they're going to drop off Ellie, the first time, but then, it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So that's where it starts. So, no, wait, yeah. Sorry, Massachusetts is the state. Yeah, Boston. They're in Boston. Yeah. That's where they talk to Robert, and then they meet the Fireflies. Yeah.
Right.
So that makes sense. Okay. Yeah. And that makes sense. Moving from Texas up to the East Coast, it makes sense. Because in a situation like that, the coastal areas is where they're going to set up quarantine zones.
Well, yeah.
Because you have a natural barrier, the sea.
Yes. We know that from all the other zombie films we've seen.
Yes, exactly.
And pandemic, any kind of infection.
Yeah.
But we've been blabbering on for too long, even though we said the TVcast are shorter episodes. I guess we're matching the first episode with TV show's first episode. It's gonna be longer.
Well, we've only been talking for 50 minutes, but...
Yeah, but
but sure, yeah. We're gonna, of course, talk. I mean, I'm not even gonna have to force myself to watch. I'm just gonna watch it, but I'm still only watching it because of the TV cast. I am a little excited to see if they manage to continue to capture the feeling, but we'll see.
Yes, we'll see.
So,
we'll see.
Yeah, thanks so much for listening. If you want to support us, check us out on patreon.com/don'tmakeascene. Also, to get that hidden pilots.
Yes.
And also get exclusive episodes of our other podcast, the Spoiler Cast, the mother show of this podcast. There's a bunch of other stuff, commentary tracks, early access to some other episodes of other podcasts and stuff like that. But other than that, if you just want to follow us here on the free platforms, check us out. Patreon, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, whatever. And we will see you, in the next week then, for the next episode. But until then, have a good one.
Bye.